Hi everyone, welcome to week 4. You're officially over the halfway mark and it is a race to the finish now. So your major assignments this upcoming Thursday are your informative speech and posting your next topic. As well as, and I'm going to click on the week 4 checklist, I want to make sure that everyone is in fact using this checklist and going through every single page of the checklist, because everything I've included in the course, I've included because I think it will help you. I wouldn't put anything in there that was extraneous that's not useful to you. And I think that if you're looking through the pages, a lot of the questions that you have are going to be answered because they are there in the page. I didn't set up the course intending for every single student to have to ask me, you know, how many citations do we need or how long is the speech. I put all that information up front because I want it to be as clear as possible, but I need you to make sure that you're checking through all of those pages. So looking here at the week 4 checklist, you need to read chapters 13 and 14 and read the citation document, which will help you significantly with your citations. View the objectives, the videos, supplementary reading for informative speech, and then do the informative speech. That'll be due Thursday by midnight. And I have not heard yet from your classmate as to whether or not there's another Wednesday on-campus option, but I'm assuming you guys have talked to each other and set that up. So I don't have any official confirmation on that, but if you're doing that, I think that's great. The sooner you get it in, the better it is for me, so I can pace my grading and get your feedback to you much more quickly. So if you can turn it in, if you do it on Wednesday, I really want to encourage you, go ahead and submit your video on Wednesday then. There's really, unless you think you're going to redo it, which I don't encourage, just turn it in on Wednesday, because then I can grade it on Wednesday when I'm not busy, as opposed to Thursday and Friday when I have, 100 plus speeches to grade. So hardly anyone turns it in early, so you're in my great graces if you do it early. All right, so you're turning that in on Thursday, and then you're also turning the persuasive speech topic and research post on Thursday, so prepping for that last speech. So again, I want to show you, walking through these pages, I want to mention briefly, and many of you have probably already viewed the videos on managing your anxiety, but one thing that I wanted to add to this, because I think that I'm realizing that what an issue that it's become, because I hear so many people saying, I tried so many times, I started and stopped so many times. When you're practicing, I recommend that you practice beginning of the speech all the way to the end, even if you make mistakes, because you're not benefiting yourself to try to make it a perfect rehearsal. That means that when you get to do the actual speech and you make a mistake, you don't really know what to do. So what you want to practice doing is rolling with your mistakes. You trip over your words, you say the wrong thing, you skip something. What do you do? What do you do in that situation? Well, practice what you would do in that situation by saying, oh, you know what? I skipped my third point. Let me back up and go to my second point. So, and then just go from there. So if you teach yourself how to roll with the mistake, how to incorporate the mistake into your speech, that's much better than trying to just scrap the whole practice and start over. Or worse yet, you got your audience there and you do your speech for them, 9 half times and 1 correct time. Do it beginning to end in front of your audience one time, just like you would do if you were in the classroom. I mean, if you came into my classroom and we had 25, 35 students delivering speeches, everybody doesn't get to stop and start 100 times. You just have to get up there and do it. That's real life. So I realize you're behind the camera and you have the opportunity to stop and start the camera, and I'll never know that, but you're not benefiting yourself then. You're not really learning how to give a public speech, because in a real situation, you just get one chance to do the speech. So when you're practicing, practice beginning to end, even if you make mistakes, and then when you get up, you've got your audience there, do it one time, that's it, that's all you get. Just do it, because otherwise you're really setting yourself up in such a way that it's a false scenario. You're not really giving a real speech. You're not really learning how to do public speaking, which means you make mistakes. I mean, when I give a public speech, I make mistakes. I just have to figure out how to recover from them and move on. And sometimes that's laughing at myself and going, okay, ignore what I just said there. Let me back up and start that part over, and just go with it. But I'm not starting the speech over. Can you imagine if, think about the presidential candidates, if every time they tripped over their words or said something stupid, which is all the time if you're watching any of the stuff they say, if they say, oh, let me start this whole thing over. They'd never get through it. Okay, so just go beginning to end. You just say, let me move on. Here's what I meant to say, or whatever. So just do that. Okay. Moving on, as I said. Okay, so again, here's some tips for delivering your speech. If you haven't seen these, eye contact basics, vocals, movement, I want to make sure that you're looking at that and that you've read the feedback that I've given you from the first speech and you're moving on. So again, here's where you'll post your outline and video link. And I did want to say that last time with the personal experience speech, when you copied and pasted in the outline, it didn't translate exactly correctly. So what I'd like for you to do is still copy and paste it in, but then also if you can fix up the Roman numerals and all of that, please do that, because I just want to make sure that you actually know how to do it. But if you're using the template, should be fine. But yeah, when you're doing the copy and paste, for some reason it's just not copying and pasting in correctly. So anyway, do your best with that. Put the link in there, and you'll be done. Okay, moving on. All right, let's talk just a little bit about your persuasive topic here. Again, here's the chapter 15 speaking to persuade page. If you haven't looked at this, you really need to look at this. So this has some important information on choosing your topic. This video, I want you to watch the first 11 minutes of it. I know that that's asking a lot, but I was going to make this exact video pretty much, and this person, she's another speech teacher, and she did it. And it's awesome. It's exactly what I want you to know. But just the first 11 minutes, because past that, her assignment's a little bit different from mine. So I don't really want you to watch anything past the first 11 minutes because I don't want to confuse you. So just minutes 1 through 11, she'll give you great information, and it's exactly what I want you to know about topics that I don't want you to pick. So please watch that. I've listed them under here, and I've listed all of the other things that you need to know. It needs to be a current topic, needs to be controversial, you need to be able to research it, needs to be relevant to your audience, needs to be specific. So if you just say, you know, my topic's gun control, I don't know what you're persuading us. Are you for it? Are you against it? Are you for it in a limited capacity? Are you against it in a limited capacity? What specifically do you want your audience to be persuaded to do? So you need to be very, very specific about that. So moving on to the instruction page. Now this last speech is 4 to 6 minutes. You're going to cite 3 sources this time instead of just 1. And it'll follow basically the same format as the ones that you've done in the past. So this question right here. Oh, click on the wrong page. This question right here. What do you plan to persuade your audience to do? You need to specifically answer that question. I plan to persuade my audience to this. Because again, if you just put a general topic, climate change or speeding, I don't know what you plan to persuade your audience to do. And that's the purpose of this assignment, is for you to tell me what you're going to do in your speech. So you need to be very specific there. If not, I'm going to keep putting a comment on your grade. I'm going to put a lower grade in, and I'm going to put a comment on there that says, I don't know what you want to do. Please answer that question. So be as specific as possible. Okay? That's it for now. If you have any other questions as we approach the informative speech, you want me to look over your outline just like last time, I'm happy to do that. Help you guys in any way that I can. Oh my gosh, one more thing. I did want to point out this website, Citation Machine. It's citationmachine.net. If you do not know how to cite your sources in MLA format, please use this website. So you would choose your style, MLA format, and then you choose what kind of source it is. Is it a book, magazine, newspaper, website? Click that. You can actually put the URL directly in there, and it creates most of it for you. So if you will use that, and if there's something, sometimes there's pieces that it doesn't pull, so you need to manually input those. If there's something that you don't know, leave it out. If it's not on the website, leave it out. But look everywhere that you can for authored, last updated date. You know, you can find that usually in the About the website, or about the organization or whatever. So put as much information as you can in there. Something you can't find, leave it out. Okay, that is the last thing that I wanted to tell you. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing your informative speeches. Take care. Bye.